I understand the appeal of Andrew Tate to young men, not for myself. I understand why young men follow Andrew Tate. I understand why he has millions upon millions of followers. There are basically two different types of famous people that impact our culture, right? There's the people that are in politics who primarily talk about political policy, and maybe I would be in this category. And then there are people in Hollywood that impact culture, like Kim Kardashian or like Taylor Swift. And then there are a third category of people who are famous, who have enormous influence over our society, who have one foot in each of these categories, one foot in political influence and one foot in cultural influence. And I would argue that the people that have one foot in each political and cultural are the most influential, because what is culture without politics, and what is politics except the outgrowth of culture? Andrew Tate has his feet in both politics and culture, and he's very appealing to young men. I totally understand why his videos go viral all the time. I've watched a bunch of them myself to understand the phenomenon. I think I can give a more objective analysis because I am not his primary targeted audience. I am not a young man. Andrew Tate has diagnosed a problem accurately, not just in our country, but in Western society at large. And that problem is that men are under attack. There is this proverbial war on masculinity that we hear about in politics is real. And it's not just real in politics. It's not just real in Washington, D.C. This is the experience of young men in their lives, in school and at work and online, in every entertainment venue that you can possibly imagine. Men are told that testosterone is a toxin. They're told that their desire to protect and provide and procreate is somehow marginalizing women, that it's oppressing women, that their strength is actually anarchy, and they're told that they're bad based on the fact that they're men. And the result of this is a generation of self-loathing young men who kind of believe that they should be self-loathing because that's what they're told, but also somewhere deep down inside their body, deep down inside their soul, they know that that's a lie. And so when someone like Andrew Tate comes along and says, wait a second, young men, you should be men. You should be tough. You should be resilient. You should protect and provide. You should want to be with a beautiful woman. You should want fast, powerful cars. You should want to work and be wealthy. Young men are like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I want. That truly speaks to me more than the toxic, well, it's really toxic femininity, isn't it? This toxic feminism that they have been fed that tell them they're bad because they're men. So all this being said, I understand why Andrew Tate has tens of millions of followers. I understand the appeal, and I understand the influence that he has on young men. But here's the thing. Andrew Tate is a very dangerous person. Andrew Tate is not someone who young men should listen to. Andrew Tate, if you listen to him, if you follow his instructions, will lead you astray. Andrew Tate is more toxic to men even than feminism. And what I want to do today, Patrick Bet-David and his team traveled to Romania, which is where Andrew Tate is currently under house arrest. He's been charged with rape of some women. We're not going to talk about that case. That's not the point of this episode or this discussion that I want to have today. But Patrick Bet-David asked Andrew Tate about his religious beliefs, because Tate used to be atheist, then he converted to Christianity, and then he converted again to Islam. And Patrick Bet-David asked him about his religious story. And within this religious story are two items that are proof that Andrew Tate is destructive to young men. That Andrew Tate, while he sounds appealing, while he portrays himself as this alpha, while he wants to assure young men that their masculinity isn't toxic, he betrays exactly why he himself is so toxic. So I want to watch this together. I want to break this down because I don't want young men to fall for this. If you know a young man that listens to Andrew Tate, if you've seen a video of Andrew Tate yourself, you're going to be super interested in watching this breakdown. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want us to watch as Patrick Bet-David asks Andrew Tate about the evolution of being first an atheist and then a Christian and now supposedly a Muslim. And I want you to listen to very closely to why Andrew Tate says he has joined the religion of Islam, because this is actually key to why Andrew Tate is toxic. Take a listen.
With your life, it's been interesting watching you go through your evolution of your faith. Yeah. Pre-2022, former atheist, couple of the things you've said in the past, God isn't real because you can't prove it.
Yep.
Okay, kind of like that was more the Malcolm X argument, right?
Yep.
Bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people
Yep.
far too often for God to exist.
Yep.
I'm the center of my universe. That's
Yep.
pre-2020.
Yep.
Then gradually you start talking about Christianity and,
Yep.
you know, in 2020 you made a video announcing that you were wrong about what you had said previously about God, right?
Yep.
Now you start saying people are who are atheists are angry, bad energy people, and I don't want to be on that team anymore. And even if God is not real, the world is a better place if people do believe in God. I know God is real because there's so much evil in the world that there has to be an equal and opposite force. The devil can't exist if God does not. And if you look at the world today, it is very obvious that the devil does not exist. And I'll go to the last one here with Muslim quotes from you. Christians don't have a religion anymore because they tolerate everything and stand for nothing.
Yeah.
And by the way, I actually agree with you, the fact that they're tolerating way too much. Islam is the last religion on the planet. God is something to be feared, respected, and to prove yourself to. What's been your evolution of your faith, and where are you at today?
Yeah, I think Newton's, his third law, equal and opposite force, what you just said there is absolutely true. There has to be equal and opposite force to all the evil in the world. And that the equal and opposite force to all that evil has to be God. And I've talked about this at length even with atheists, and I try and say that regardless of whether you're an atheist or not, you're thinking of God as a man in the sky, but you need to think of God as a concept as a whole. And once you do that, it's impossible to accept that he doesn't exist, right? I said to the atheists, I said, let's say there was 2 islands. You're shipwrecked, right? And there's 2 islands. Both of them are full of savages. On one island, you and your friend are shipwrecked. On one island, your friend goes and he crashes and they kill him and they eat him. And you go to another island and they want to kill you and eat you, but they don't because it's against their religion. Mm-hmm. Did God save your life? Who cares? Who doesn't even know the name of their God? But their God said, don't kill shipwrecked survivors. And now you're alive. So their God saved your life. The concept of God in and of itself saved your life. You owe God just for the concept of it, the idea of it. So even the idea of opposing evil as a whole is a belief in God. So you're either an evil person or you believe in God in some regard. And then once I understood that there had to be an equal and opposite force, I was raised Christian. I live in a Christian nation. Romania is actually, I think, the 2nd or 3rd most Christian country on earth. It's a very Christian country here. It's churches everywhere. They strongly believe. And that's where I began my journey. But I always had a very healthy respect for Islam because I understand that to a degree, to have a religion at all, you have to have an intolerance to a degree. Because without an intolerance, you don't have rules. You don't have laws. You don't have any, like you said, you have to earn God's respect. If you're a religion which is tolerant of everything, then you don't have to earn God's respect. You can be a bad person and do bad things. God loves me, so it's fine. Well, no, it's not, because that's not the point of the religion. So then you extrapolate that out, and I was sitting and thinking, well, what's the primary function of a religion? And the primary function of a religion, I don't believe is the religion exists so I can live forever. I mean, that's a nice thought. But I think on a macro level, the primary objective of a religion is to restore and contain some degree of traditional value within the society. How do you judge, let me change the way I worded that. How do you judge the success of a religion? I don't think you can judge it by the number of people who join it, because there's lots of people who are Catholic who don't act Catholic. They don't act in any way particularly Christian. Anyone can say they're something. You can walk into a strip club and everyone says they're Christian. It doesn't mean anything, right? So how do you judge the success of a religion? Well, I like to think the best way to judge the success of a religion is how successful is it at fighting evil? How successful is it at preserving the morality of a population in X parameter, in X geographical area?
Okay, let's stop the video right there for a second. Let's stop right there. Because within this description from Andrew Tate about why he chose the religion of Islam over Christianity or even over atheism shows us why Andrew Tate diagnoses the problem correctly, right? He and I can sit here, and even though we have wildly different worldviews, we can both recognize the reality that in our Western culture, there is an assault on masculinity. Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.